think obviously LAFC is pretty strong in the middle of the field. I think the combination Tectonic and Delgado, the 66 Shonri. I don't know how you pronounce his name. Shonri. I mean, there is the third goal. Is that? Oh, we turned the ball over twice in the middle of the field, and one pass put I believe Luanga through. I'm trying to replay this thing. It's in my head right there, but I don't think that was a result of a high line. The third goal was clearly a high line where Muni was playing, I believe, someone offside in that run, and Rodriguez was not alert and kept him offside. Actually, Muni made the right play. He made a decision. The player he was on was he didn't time his run properly, and he was offside. And he has to depend on Rodriguez to be playing off his shoulder and staying in line. So, you know, that was an example of a high line. The second goal is the one that really turned the ball over on the touchdown. That had nothing to do with the high line. So even with the pace of Long and so on, you're comfortable with them. Muni turned the ball over there. What are you gonna do? He's a center back. That has nothing to do with the high line. Maybe you see it differently. I'd have to look. Probably had a better view of it than I do. I'm standing right there. It's really a foolish mistake. We've made the same mistake, not the same, but a similar kind of mistake in the last game in Austin, where we turned the ball over there. Yeah, we made some killer mistakes. Yeah.
Bruce, good evening. Regardless of the result, you guys sold 50,000 tickets, 978. You guys have a new record. What do you think about this new accomplishment for the franchise? Thank you so much.
Well, I think the crowd tonight shows what a great area this is for soccer in this country. It's going to be a great venue for the World Cup, and I thank obviously our soccer community for coming out and supporting us tonight. I wish we could have put on a better show, but I think LAFC did, so give them a lot of credit. But a crowd like this is nothing but positive for our franchise and the league.
All right, Coach. You've been around for a while, coach some big moments, but is it frustrating to have one player get this hat trick at one at that time?
What one player
Get a hat trick.
did Buwanga have a hat trick time? It was really tough playing all those games in Africa, right? And the travel. Shows you the quality of play. I thought he had two games, but he had three. Pretty good play. And the other guy, number seven, up there. Wearing it's one of my favorite numbers. Mickey Mantle.
Thank you.
I mean,
We'll be joined by midfielder Ian Parks next.
Thank you very much.
anything else I can help you guys with or get to good questions? Well, that in my defense, my comment right after they scored 6 runs, targets were over 6. Yeah, this time I'm 13 for see.
Set up for Bailey to win it tonight. Isn't that?
He gets excited for those events. I have that on video. In fact, when he did it last night, I was tempted to repost that. I get excited for those kinds of events. So prophetic. It's crazy as quietly they've got like that White House lot. They what? Let's see, last year,
7-0. Cal.
Neil and I were talking, Royals are one game out, now they're 6. I'm like,
They're still in the first quarter? End of first quarter.
What about Giants Dodgers?
9-7.
I didn't see anything.
I think it's 6. They what? Yeah, I mean, it's
48 now?
top 6, Ryan. It was also, by the way, when we were upstairs, it was 43 Giants. And by the time we got downstairs, it was 9-4.
What was the time? His goal was the first.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're for the second part of tonight's post-game press conference. We're joined by Quakes midfielder Ian Harks. We'll start first with live questions. Go ahead.
All right, Ian, great atmosphere, record for the team, over 50,000. What was the mindset when you guys were down 3-0 within the first 12 minutes?
Yeah, it was obviously, a challenge. It was a great atmosphere, like you said. We were so happy for all the fans to come out, and for us to play in there. Obviously, that kind of scoreline deflates it right away for the players. We really shot ourselves in the foot from the start, and it was a strange game because we controlled a lot of the game, a lot of the ball, and we talked about how lethal they'd be on transition, and that's how they got us.
I wanted to go back to the question of the tickets. Regardless of the result, what would you like to say to the record for the franchise?
Playing at Levi's, and obviously talked about it before, they always said it was a special game, and I just think we wanted to reward the fans that came out, and we're sorry that we didn't tonight. We're disappointed with ourselves, and they had a great showing, and we just want to say thank you to everyone that did come out, and hopefully they stick with us because we got to push for these next 4 games. We still believe and we can't give up, and can't let this carry over into the last 4 games.
Go ahead, Marco.
Ian, you talk about how their attack and how they got better with the addition of Son. Is that maybe kind of in the back of your minds that led to these uncharacteristic turnovers that led to their goals tonight?
Yeah, we talked about it before the game, and Bruce was saying that they look to punish you if you give the ball away, and unfortunately it happened 3 times, twice definitely for the first 2 goals, and after that they're so good on the break and punishing us. So I think that was just on us, and we got to eliminate those mistakes. But of course, with players like Luongo and Son, they're going to hurt you, and so we got to take a look at that, and regardless of who we're playing next week, or learn from those mistakes.
Kevin.
Ian, Bruce mentioned that he thought LAFC was going to come out in a different shape. How much did that maybe affect your guys' game plan? And then can you reflect on playing in a new shape this late into the season?
Yeah, we haven't played a back 4 for a long time, but we had the whole week to work on it. I think we felt pretty good, and we wanted to isolate Rodri because he played really well against Luongo in the first time when we went away against LAFC, and the way they shaped up was a little different. And Luongo didn't receive the ball too much on the touchline. They were running in behind a lot, and they changed it. And I think, like I said, we were a little naive in the way we approached that, and didn't really change. But regardless of formations and everything, the mentality had to be better from the start in a derby match and coming out and competing. So we started too slow, and they punished us.
Over here. What did you think of the playing surface itself? Is it supposedly the same grass that they're playing on in the World Cup?
Yeah, I thought it was incredible. I mean, the ball was moving nice, and the pitch looked great. Atmosphere was amazing, so it was fun to be a part of.
Ian, in hindsight, what would you have done differently to defend those runs in behind from Luongo and Son? What did you discuss at halftime maybe about trying to stop some of those runs in behind in the second half?
Well, at half it was a little too late. We were talking about stopping the bleeding, and obviously we were happy to get the goal back, and that we were saying the next goal determines the game really, and it had to be from us to make it close. But obviously hindsight, I think we should have dropped in and obviously kept them in front of us in the first half and the beginning of the game. It's easy to get caught up in the crowd in the games. You want to get after teams and press them, but like we said, we can't be expansive against LAFC. They hurt you behind. So we got all 10 players behind the ball and shifted side to side, kind of like what they did to us. I think it would have helped.
What happened?
So throughout the season, you and Beaulieu were a midfield duo. You were yin and yang. Beaulieu expressed himself creatively, and you did a lot of everything in midfield. And then comes in Vieira, who shares a lot of similar responsibilities as you, and then for this game, you're all playing together. How did that impact your responsibilities in this midfield 3?
Yeah, I think we all have good qualities to play off of each other, and the 3, I think it was working well. Besides the goals, I know that's stupid to say, because we did control a lot of the game, and us 3 were kind of picking up good spots and facilitating the play. So in terms of midfield and everything, I wish the scoreline was different from the start, because I think we controlled a lot. And we're just going to continue to keep working on those relationships, and we can play a lot of different formations based off of our different qualities in that.
Good, Brian.
So after the game kind of settled down, you guys are down a little bit, but it seems like both Christian and Preston were determined to get back into this game, both single-handedly. Do you guys feel their energy on the field, and how responsible do the rest of you feel to try to follow them and make that, follow them into it, make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, everyone wanted to push and get back into it, but we always feel those guys' energy on the pitch. Christian's work really lurking, and we were happy that he got the goal back, and unfortunately we just couldn't get that next one at the right time.